Welcome to my new channel, everyone. My name is Ayobami Ogunsoya, and I am the Mushin AI guy. So I'll be explaining, let's say, MCP in depth, and I will be doing Langflow briefly. And we are going to um, work on a personalized scholarship searcher as a case study for this video. And I will appreciate your like if you enjoy the content of my videos so that I can do more. And I would love you to subscribe also. All right, let's dive in. So what does Langflow mean? Langflow is a framework designed to facilitate development and deployment of language models. So it provides a friendly interface that allows developers to create, manage, and optimize large language processing works. And also is a very low code. I'm adding the word very because you won't have to write much code except when it comes to modifying some components. And it's a drag and drop visual interface built on LangChain. It allows users to design AI workflows using deep coding and enables prompt flow design, LLM experimentation, and also you can get a JSON, your file exported in JSON for your LangChain integration. All right, and the uniqueness of Langflow, yes, it supports various large language model, enable users to integrate them seamlessly into applications. All right, and then what do we mean by the model context protocol? I call them the Gen Z of AI automation, or when building agent, I just call them the Gen Z because this is a very good development when it comes to large language model integration and LLM building, model context protocol. So this is a useful context preserving framework designed to power intelligent multi-step interaction between humans and agents. Unlike the traditional API calls, where you have to connect your LLM directly to the APIs, this time around you connect to a server which has the necessary tools in it. So, and it allows AI systems to retain memories, learn dynamically, and act autonomously over time. So why MPC unique? MPC facilitates communication between systems and enabling machines learning model integration and enables simple machine learning model integration. It also monitors model performance and manages resources for efficient operation. And MCP acts as a version control which supports model versioning, simplifying update and change management. Yes, that brings me back to the LLM, the traditional API calls. For you to revise let's say the API, the documentation has changed, and for you to revise, you have to go back to the API integration, write some codes, and have it functioning again. But MCP does all that for you. The MCP protocols does that and interacts with the server to make this happen. And traditional API calls, this directly saying, okay, let's say your LLM is connected to 5 different API tools, for example, connected to Google Calendar, Gmail, and separately, your LLM will have to decide what API to use or what tool to be called through what API. But this time around, MCP does the thinking. What your LLM does is that your LLM sends a message saying, oh, I want to extract my Gmail, talks to the MPC server. The MPC server looks into it. Oh, yeah, there's a tool for Gmail extractor. Let me use that. Then a call to call it up. So let's look at what these MPC servers look like. All right, many of them, but for this video, we are going to be using the fetch server. And the fetch server has this tool called fetch. This fetch tool is what extracts information from URLs. Very, very efficient MPC server. All right, back to slides. Yeah, so that explains this framework. And yeah, think of MCP as a USB-C port. You know, USB-C port helps to make connection with other devices to your system or to your computer very, very easy and seamless. So rather than have wires going around connecting singly here and there, you just have one device that serves as the middleman, that serves as the backpack that houses other tools. So for example, if I want to connect my mouse, I can insert my dongle to the USB port and use my mouse the same way I can insert it directly to the computer. But then this time around, I'm going through a protocol that helps the LLM to better look through tools. So we have these servers, like I showed you earlier, that does the tool fetch for do when producing or when trying to develop a scholarship extractor, or let's say information finder. So for the conclusion, Langflow and MCP are essential tools for developers working with large language models and machine learning systems. By understanding their functionalities, application developers can leverage this framework to create robust, efficient language processing solutions. So let's quickly dive into see what MCP looks like in the real sense. All right. But if if you're not familiar with Langflow, this is Langflow. You can toggle between your Langflow interface and also your database AstraDB. So, but then we are not going so deep into AstraDB or explaining so much about Langflow interface, which I'll be doing in other videos. So then let's take a look at this architecture. Yeah, this is Scholars MCP. I call it Scholars MCP because it helps to search through scholarship websites, help you to extract the exact need of the user. So for my chat inputs, this is where I got my chat input from the component. There's so many components here which you can pick from, and my chat input. So this is where the user enters the message, but you can also leave a template for the user to understand what kind of message or how to ask the LLM questions. Okay. Now we have our MCP server, which is another component. It's in two mode now, but before it got into two mode, this is how our MPC component looks like. You enter your command where you identify the server you want to use, and in that server there are tools. When I was showing the GitHub repository, I showed you the fetch server and I told you the fetch has this available tools called fetch. So that's what we are making use of, and we convert this to tool mode so our agent can make use of it as a tool. All right, tool mode, then we connect to tools. Okay, let's look at what I wrote here. The prompt template. So this is the prompt template, and I'm giving the LLM instructions, three instructions. Number one, to deeply search and crawl provided website at URL. Number two, extract structured details following this pattern. And number three, ensure that you're actually giving me an answer that is up to date, or a scholarship info that is up to date. Make sure that the nationality and the level of study, field of interest are also tailored to what the user needs. Excellent. So I will explain prompts definitely in another video, and let's get things going, shall we? Okay. But then you have to enter your API key. Don't forget your API key. I've done that. Um, that's why I have it here. So let's go to the playground. Kenyans. All right, let's check this out. So if you notice in my message to the in my prompt, I did not include any website. So it's supposed to search a website there. Okay, accessing fetch. So this is the fetch tool, accessing the fetch tool using the NPC server. Oh, excellent. So I encountered some issues while trying to fetch specific scholarship information from the website you provided. However, I did manage to. All right, general opportunities for mining engineering and artificial intelligence. So here we go. These are the scholarship it could find on, let's see, on what website? Scholarshipportal.com. And there's one thing about this MCP is that even if you don't provide, okay, let's provide a URL and see how this happens. Opportunity for Africans. Finance. Okay, let's wait a bit. So let's wait while the LLM is cooking. Sometimes cooking takes time, especially when the meal is very, very sumptuous. So let's wait for the sumptuous meal. Oh, yeah. Accessing fetch. What do you have for us? Okay, you can actually play around with any kind of MCP. You can use the idea for the scholarship fetcher to also experiment on different MCP. Oh, perfect. You can see 2025 is now updated, it's up to date. Opportunities in biology, here we go. It will give you a site to click, go ahead to apply. So this site works perfectly. Finance. Okay, let's wait a bit. So let's wait while the LLM is cooking. Sometimes cooking takes time, especially when the meal is very, very sumptuous. So let's wait for the sumptuous meal. Oh, yeah. Accessing fetch. What do you have for us? Okay, you can actually play around with any kind of MCP. You can use the idea for the scholarship fetcher to also experiment on different MCP. Oh, perfect. You can see 2025 is now updated, it's up to date. Opportunities in biology, there we go. It will give you a site to click, go ahead to apply. So this site works perfectly. Finance. Okay, let's wait a bit.